What's up, guys? It's Jill. It's the 28th. Yeah, I think it's the 28th of October, and we are about 3 or 4 days from the federal shutdown really affecting like millions of Americans. And I know that furloughed workers are currently without pay, and so I'm sorry, and it's cruel is what it is. But when it gets exponentially large, like withholding SNAP benefits from families, I think that we start looking at like war crimes, war games. And it's really devastating out here at this point. And I think that I'm having more of a hard time with it because for a long time now we've really like lost the plot. And so, we're at a point where we like stop teaching people how to make things and bake cakes and biscuits and homemade meals, right? Meal plan for families. And so if you were never taught those things, or if you live in a food desert where you can't access things to be able to do that, this is really, really going to be a hard time, especially, for people who are homeless, because they're living on things that they can, grab and go, right? And that may be their only source of income to be able to obtain food besides the food pantries and the food lines. And the scary thing about that is that this past Friday, I was with a client and we happened to be at the laundromat. Now, our laundromat downtown is right next to our Salvation Army, and there was a pretty long line for lunch. So I popped in and the woman said, "How many?" And I said, "Well, actually, I'm just checking in." Though I think they were doing tuna subs from Wegmans. They look pretty good. But I said, is there a plan in place? Or is there like reserves that are already stocked away for this that's coming? And she said, no, everything is just kind of us playing it by ear. She said, but I can tell you that in the past 2 weeks, this line has grown by about 100 people, faces we've never seen before. And my heart sank because obviously these are workers. These are people who are probably newly unemployed, or newly homeless, because our homeless population is growing exponentially. And I was really thinking about that the other day, when I decided to let go of everything a couple months ago. I hadn't really thought too much about it. Like, my kid had done the math that, like, basically, for as long as we lived there and as much as we paid, we had probably paid off the house that we were living in, which was terrifying. But really, when I moved in there 5 years ago, I was paying like $8.75. You fast forward just 5 years, they wanted 16 and a quarter. That's a huge increase. That's more than $100 every year that I live there. I don't know how people are surviving out here. It's crazy right now. I'm meeting people on the internet who are telling me that, like, yeah, they're seeking like temporary shelter wherever they can find it, or moving in with other people, because single people are not making it out here unless they have decent jobs. And I'm talking educated people. I'm not ignorant. I have a college degree. This game is not fun. Okay? So I want to tell you 2 stories today because both have been driving me a little bit nuts. The first one is this morning I got up and I went to the dentist. In good old American dentistry, I have an infection in my tooth. It has needed to be drilled or extracted for probably almost 2 years now, to be honest with you, that we've been playing this game. Finally got the referral in about 6 months ago, got an appointment, went there today, was so excited they were going to take care of this tooth. And the doctor at the referral place was like, no, this is just so I can look at it, and then we have to bill the insurance, or we have to ask the insurance if we can do it, and then we'll get a hold of you later. And I was like, okay, okay, thanks. Guess maybe I'll be back. Hopefully I'll be back. But while I was sitting there today in this government-funded dentist office where, I mean, they're seeing patient after patient, right? It's almost like a mill at this point. This woman came in and you could tell that she was physically ill, okay? Like, snotty, no voice, just blowing her nose, like, okay, and it was gross, a lot of mucus. I thought, oh my goodness. So when she went to turn in her paperwork back at the counter, she noticed that I had kind of pulled my shirt up over my nose and my face. So what did she do? She had been sitting 2 rows behind me with her kids. When she came back around after she noticed this, she sat directly behind me and started coughing and hacking. So I got up and I walked away. Now, do I think that she was angry that I had pulled my shirt up? And did she take offense to that? Maybe. But is that too bad? Absolutely. I work with women and infant children. We have to check our ignorance. It's not okay. It's not okay. If you are sick, stay home. And I will say this loudly. People who are suffering from malnutrition and our children who are going to school malnourished are going to be spreading more germs, and they are going to be more susceptible to those germs because their immune system is going to be out of whack because they're not properly nourished. This is a fact. This is just human biology. I didn't make it up, okay? This is how it works. It's RSV season. Stay away from the babies. And please, please, for the love of God, check your privilege. Because I just came to pick my kid up from school, and this woman in this huge Lincoln SUV is parked in front of parking spots that are open because she's the first one in line around the loop. Really? Really? This is the ignorance, and this is the divide, and this is where people's heart spaces are going to come into play. How are we going to fund food banks? How are we, yeah, there it is, hear that? This is the truth. How are we going to fund food banks if we can't be self-sustaining, if we're not willing to give and we're not willing to go, okay, maybe this isn't, people don't want to work or people shouldn't be having kids they can't feed, because most of the people on SNAP are service members, okay? Service members, military with kids, especially infantry, because they don't get paid jack. We've got furloughed workers from the state right now and the federal government. We've got foster kids. Okay, foster kids are absolutely in need of those benefits because most families who foster kids are not extremely wealthy. This is the time that I have been speaking about for the past 5 or 6 years when we really, really are going to have to start relying on ourselves as a group, as a whole, as a society. Okay, it is now. As a collective, we have to come together and start understanding where the lines of our humanity really are. It's another reason that I never sought federal funding for this project that I have, where I wanted to create a community center. Because federal money equals federal regulation and overreach. And these are the systems that are designed to harm us, and people are really, really going to have to wake up and understand that these systems are designed to harm us when they are designed to keep us separate or to hold us down, because this is how we come under tyranny, or it's how we wake up and take back our power and we understand what true freedom is, what sovereignty is, and what giving a damn about our neighbors really means. See ya.